Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not shit. Hold on. I'm back once again to talk about another Dragon Ball Z movie, The World's Strongest, which is the second of the movies. And again, my head hurts from trying to figure out where this fits in the canon because it makes no sense. How Goku defeats the enemy at the end makes no sense with the timeline we have. Also, this is the movie with the aforementioned Piccolo song, and during that song, we see another flashback to something that happened, which could kind of make sense, but not really, given where certain characters are at this point in time. So, we start on a mountain of snow and in the Antarctic, and Dr. Kochin, this old dude with the bald spot on the top and the hair coming down, he he has collected all of the Dragon Balls thanks to his little bio warrior people who look just like Cybermen, although that's never brought up. And hot on their trail is Gohan and Oolong, because, when I think hero, I think Oolong. Of course, as they're climbing up, Gohan asks him what he would wish for if they got the Dragon Balls. Of course, it's a pair of women's underwear, which is what he asked for in the original dub. Although I remember, for some reason, in the dub that they had, the Ocean dub or whatever it was that they had back in the day, back in the 90s, it was a sock. I don't remember it being underwear. But everything tells me underwear, so. So Dr. Kochin summons the Eternal Dragon, which makes it 2 movies in a row where the dragon is summoned. They knew what their story was about, I guess. And he wishes for the mountains to be unburied, for Dr. Willow, his boss, to be unburied from the mountain. The lab and everything, so we can get in there. And, yeah. Piccolo shows up to help them and allows Gohan and Oolong to get away while fighting the Bio Warriors. And then we cut to filler, for lack of a better term, because we cut to to Gohan's house where he is studying, and this is where we have the Piccolo song. And if you want the actual song, I would suggest you listen to the Japanese audio track on the DVD that has the original song. Otherwise, it's a dubbed version with no lyrics and a different music track. Just, if you watch it without the original song, it's just very weird. Audio track with pictures of Piccolo. It's during this montage of Piccolo stuff that we see when Piccolo saves Gohan from Nappa during the Saiyan arc of the first season. Which would put this after that, which makes no sense because, as I mentioned before, Goku would be dead or resurrected in On Snake Way at this point. And then something else happens at the end of this that puts this way ahead in the timeline, but Gohan's age says otherwise. Yeah. So, the Bio Warriors, Cybermen people show up at the Kami house on Turtle Island to get Master Roshi, because he's one of the greatest fighters in the world, although he's just a dirty old man now, but he's, one of the greatest fighters in the world. So they take him, and for some reason, Bulma, no idea why she's kidnapped, but of course Oolong recognizes them, so Oolong goes to Goku, who is taking a bath in a heated bath outside in one of those garbage cans that homeless people would be huddled around with the fire in it. That, yeah, he's in there. I don't know why, but Oolong explains to him what happened, and so Goku decides he has to go. But of course, Gohan can't go because he has to study. That's what he has to do, because Gigi says. So, Goku summons the flying Nimbus because he cannot fly yet, which is also a nod to the fact that this cannot take place as late as they suggest it can. Because he would be able to fly by the time that happened. Anyway, he cannot fly yet, so he uses the flying Nimbus. And it takes forever to get there, because we get a whole bunch of exposition. Dr. Wheeler and Dr. Cochin were brilliant scientists, but it was an avalanche to cover up their lab. But they survived. Somehow. Did you say they survived? And now Dr. Wheeler is just a brain in a thing, a la Mandark from Dexter's Lab Ego Trip. And they want to put his brain in one of the best fighters in the world, so they got Master Roshi. But it's also later revealed that they have Piccolo under their control. Why didn't they use Piccolo? Are they discriminating against Namekians? Because it's an issue. Anyway, once Goku finally arrives 10 hours later, which is interesting because Gohan, an 8-year-old flying a ship, gets there faster. He gets there after Goku, but it seems to take less time for him to get there, although he is with Krillin. I was like, an 8-year-old flying this thing, and then it's revealed Krillin's with him. Okay, Krillin. Okay. I guess Krillin could fly it. Anyway, so Goku fights off the Bio Warriors, and then Krillin and Gohan show up, and Krillin says something to the effect of, you could have asked me, I'd come with you. Why didn't you tell me to come with you? Why didn't you come get me? Yeah, why was Krillin saved till the end here? It's revealed that Piccolo is under their control, like I said, with these weird red vine things on his forehead. Are they supposed to be veins popping out of his forehead? I don't know. But he's under their control. He fights Gohan and he fights them, but eventually he's able to be taken out of control. Dr. Cochin dies. Dr. Wheeler reveals he's in a giant mechanical suit, which would be stronger than a human body. So I don't know why he wants a human body, but he wants Goku's body, apparently. And to stop Dr. Wheeler, he must use the Spirit Bomb, which is a big continuity issue because he didn't learn the Spirit Bomb until after he trained with King Kai, which would be after. He does not. I don't think he uses it against Vegeta, right? But he uses it against Frieza. That's what he uses it against. It doesn't work, but he uses it against Frieza, which means that for this to work canonically, it would have to be set during the 3 years time jump in season 4, which does not make sense with what Gohan looks like. Because Gohan in season 2 cuts his hair into the 90s bowl cut because that was the style, and has that for a while. And no, it does not make any sense. Gohan is still 8 here. And of course, he still gets the anger stuff, but Goku is able to eventually defeat Dr. Wheeler with the Spirit Bomb. And all's well that ends well, I guess. And we end the line where it's like, one good thing happened. He thought I was the strongest man in the world. And Bulma's response is, well, too bad you didn't know you're just a dirty old man. That's how it ends. But so let's discuss this. If we're trying to fit these into the show's canon, where does it fit in? Now, I just don't see it fitting in anywhere. Because Goku dies after the thing. He does make it back to fight Vegeta and Nappa, but after the battle, his body is severely damaged, and he ends up in what is Dragon Ball Z's version of a Bacta tank. He's healing, and then he has a very, very long journey. Then everyone else goes to Namek to get those Dragon Balls, and then he takes a very long journey. And they don't get back to Earth till after Namek is destroyed and Frieza is destroyed. And then when season 4 starts, we meet another character from the future who dispatches some villains, newly cyborg Frieza and his father. He dispatches them and tells Goku that in 3 years' time he's going to get a heart disease, which will kill him, and that the oncoming androids would come and destroy the world and change things. And he was trained by Gohan. But there's a 3-year time jump. There's some training stuff, and then there's a 3-year jump. So could this take place in that 3-year time jump? Possibly. But like I said, Gohan's age, he's the same as he was in the first movie, which would put this sometime around then. I think whoever came up with this wanted the Spirit Bomb to be the finishing move, but didn't think about what that would actually mean for the show, as he didn't, as far as the show, he didn't have it yet. So it's confusing. Very confusing when you try to put this in the canon of the show. Overall, though, I thought this was a little bit better than the last one. I'm still going to give it a high middle of the road, but I did like it better. I think it works better. The plot is a little less meh for me, whereas the last one, like, Gohan had to be kidnapped so that Goku would come after him. But here, like, Bulma didn't need to be kidnapped. Goku would have went after Roshi regardless. But if you look at it, there are his 2 oldest friends. If you had Krillin in there, Krillin and Oolong, and yeah, there are 2 of his oldest friends. So of course he would risk life and limb to go after him. But yeah, don't know why he's taking a bath in a garbage can. No, kind of confusing. And Chi-Chi is just sort of there to wag her finger at Gohan, and then Gohan sneaks out anyway. But there's some great fight scenes here. I feel like the villain's motivation is a little bit like he wants to take over the world, of course. The other one, he wanted to be immortal and then take over the world? Was that even it? He wanted to destroy Kami. I guess. I don't know. Maybe world domination was on the table. I don't know. Probably. But here it's out there in the open. You know what's going to happen. Again, we got the Dragon Balls involved in all this as well, which is, for a story called Dragon Ball Z often loses that premise. The first season is about fighting off the Saiyans, and then you have gathering Dragon Balls in season 2. And part of season 3 and is fighting Frieza, and then the Dragon Balls become less and less involved with the story as the show goes along. Whereas I feel like a lot of the original series was about gathering the Dragon Balls. There's a lot of that, and it just sort of, the original show, they were gathering the Dragon Balls, and the bad guys show up, and just so happen to be gathering them too. Whereas that's what these 2 movies have in common, is the bad guys gathered them, But, in the length of the show, the bad guys, sure, Frieza wants immortality from that. He's probably the only one. And then Vegeta wants it too. But they don't, other villains don't necessarily go after the Dragon Balls. I feel like the writing changed after the first couple seasons. And it's called Dragon Ball Z, but we don't need to make it about the Dragon Balls like they used to write it. I don't know. But yeah, so it's a very high middle of the road. Doesn't quite pump up there. I feel like we're getting close. I feel like maybe Tree of Might could do it. And we get our first pretty good, but who knows? Tree of Might's the one they showed most of the time on Cartoon Network anyway. These 3 were the ones that they showed, but I feel like Tree of Might was on the most. I don't know, but what are your thoughts on DBZ World's Strongest when it comes slow? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.